Hello. Very important vid here. This is a really important part of the Freedom Model book. It's towards the end, I believe it's chapter 23. And here we have a table, right? The magical view of substances and the realistic view of substances. Now, this book talks about drugs and alcohol, but it is completely applicable to PMO, and in fact, it's the best thing I've ever seen about quitting PMO. Easily, without willpower, it's just the best. Now, here's the thing. After me, I personally have gone through this whole process, and I now have a view of porn that is equivalent to the realistic view of substances that's on the right of the screen here, right? So before, I think you can see my mouse here. Before, I thought like this. This was one of my main one, right? This one. I thought that porn took away my stress and anxiety, it numbed my emotional pain, and it made me forget my troubles. And a lot of you guys will believe this. Like, a lot of you guys will be in this belief. I was in this belief for 6 years, right? I found NoFap when I was 17, quit when I was 23, and I'm 24 now, so that's 6 years, right? The whole time I was using this to self-medicate. Now, a lot of you guys will objectively believe that porn helps you with this emotional pain, because it feels like it does, and it actually does, but it's not the porn that's doing it. You're just distracting yourself. So, but the distraction gets misattributed to the porn, right? So let me explain exactly what's going on here. You might think that porn relieves your emotional stress because it just gives you that massive rush and it just takes everything away, right? That's what I believed, and I felt that. I felt it. Over time, though, as I was reading this freedom model stuff and I was thinking inside of my head, I started to realize that porn is just distracting me from my stressful thoughts, right? So let's say this was typical, right? Let's say I went on a night out and I was talking to girls and I was getting rejected and I was feeling awkward and I hated myself and I was having these awful thoughts going through my head like, fuck man, I'm just this brown skinny dude, like I fucking suck. You know, other guys can get girls and I can't. And I was just being a pussy essentially, right? And I was getting rejected and I didn't like it and I felt like shit. I would then come home and I would jerk off to porn, right? Because I thought at the time, that whoosh was just taking everything away. I thought it was magical, as is said on the left here, the magical view of substances. But in reality, once I made the shift, I read the freedom model, I did some testing, and I started to realize that all porn was doing was I was focusing my attention on the porn and on the physical buzz of masturbation. And me shifting my attention is actually what took my attention away from the stressful thoughts that I was having about myself, the self-loathing, etc. And I realized the exact same thing could be achieved through like watching gaming content on YouTube, or by doing some deep breathing, or by going for a walk. It's called getting your mind off it, and you can use anything to get your mind off it. But if you believe that porn is a unique magic pill to take away your stress and your negative emotions, then it will feel like that, and you'll put porn on a pedestal. That doesn't mean that porn's actually on a pedestal, it's just that you believe it is, so it becomes that way. But when you start to realize that anything can be used as a distraction, you bring porn down, and the value of porn goes down. Because porn isn't this unique substance anymore, anything can remove your emotional stress. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not that, oh, now that I don't use porn to distract myself, I'm going to replace porn with a different distraction mechanism. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you perceive porn to have less value than it actually does, your motivation for it, your desire for it will, in accordance, go down. And this actually happened to me. This has really happened to me. I've experienced this in my own life, which is why I'm making a shitload of content about this stuff, because I realize how important it is. I realize that when you have this realistic view, everything changes, and you don't have porn addiction anymore. In fact, you never had it. It was just your beliefs the whole time. Anyway, this is just the first point here. But as you can see, I love the way that the freedom model uses the word magical, because that's really how it feels when you're in it. These guys know what they're talking about from first hand, and I felt it too. Like, I felt that porn was this magical, like, cure-all thing, and it turns out it wasn't. And when I now have this realistic view of it, my desire for it goes down, and I feel way more. I have a way more realistic view of what porn can and can't do, and I don't really desire it. Turns out, I don't really see much utility in it. Anyway, that's the first one. Let's go on to the second one. There's more. So right, so this table is continuing on to the next page, right? So got matcha green tea here, by the way. So many antioxidants in there. Fantastic. So, this one here isn't as applicable to porn. This is the license to misbehave. This is like typically associated with alcohol, right? So, on the left here, you've got the magical view, and on the right, you've got the realistic view. We're not going to talk about it that much because it isn't really that applicable. What's more applicable, I would say, is the one below it. So, this is what a lot of you guys are getting trapped on, and I was trapped here as well. A lot of what has had me, a lot of what made me constantly go back to porn again and again, was me believing that it brings euphoria, a pleasure greater than anything else known to man, as it says there on the screen. It will always make me feel good, and it makes any activity more enjoyable. Right? Okay, that last one isn't as applicable because porn doesn't make any activity more enjoyable because the activity is porn. They're talking about substances here. So, for example, if you were drinking alcohol, you might think that drinking alcohol makes going to the fucking pub more fun, right? For example. The point is that once I questioned whether porn really does bring this massive euphoria, this massive pleasure greater than anything known to man, and I realised it really doesn't, then my belief about it changed. I would MO, right, masturbate an orgasm mindfully, and I would think, how pleasurable is this really, objectively? Like think about it, right? Forget all of my beliefs about it being the happiest thing in the world. How good does it actually feel? Again, this is all about getting a realistic view of substances. It's not about brainwashing yourself into a new wacky belief system that is going to help you quit porn. No, this is about getting the actual truth. And luckily, the actual truth is that there is no addiction and that substances really aren't all they're cracked up to be. I know it sounds crazy, and you might be like, oh, well, if substances aren't all they've cracked up to be, then why do people use heroin all the time? Why do people use cocaine all the time? Why do people drink a shitload? Why do people smoke weed a shitload? Why do people use porn a shitload? Gaming, all of this stuff. It's all belief based, and that's fine. It's subjective. Think about it. For every substance, for every addictive activity, there are a host of people that just don't use it, or if they do use it, they barely use it, and that's true, right? Most people aren't fucking heavy drinkers. Most people aren't heavy porn users. Most people aren't heavy drug users, heavy gamers, heavy social media users. Most people use these things occasionally and then don't use it most of the time. Right? The point is, right? When you believe that it brings euphoria, a pleasure greater than anything else known to man, and this is why I hate the NoFap community, because the NoFap community has purported a whole load of neuroscience which has brainwashed everyone, right? If you actually forget the neuroscience and just think, what does it actually do in the first person objectively? When I PMO, when I MO, what does that actually fucking feel like for real? Like, how does that feel? Once you realise how that actually feels, you will start to question your whole belief about it being a pleasure greater than anything else known to man. What I did, right? Let's say I'd PMO or MO, and then I'd go to the cinema with my mates, and I'd think to myself, how good am I feeling now compared to if I was at home PMOing? I feel a lot more calm, I feel a lot more peaceful, I feel a lot more just fucking awesome when I'm hanging out with my buddies, having cracking jokes, going, as I said, go to the cinema maybe, or go to town, or just drive around in our cars, just hanging out, just fucking having fun with the boys. How good I was comparing myself in that moment. How good do I feel now than if I was at home jerking off to porn? And I was like, I feel fucking awesome now. If I was at home watching porn, I would be feeling like that self-loathing. It would be horrible. I wouldn't want to do it, but I would feel like I have to do it. And then I just sort of question, do I even need to do it? Could I even be happier without it? This kind of changing beliefs, these changing thoughts, it's this change in perspective that occurred for me and brought me into this realistic view of porn. that we see on the right, that's what changed everything for me. Do you get it? That's what fucking changed everything. And I'm trying really hard to spell out this process as step by step as I can, but it's really hard at the moment because there's so much shit that people. I'm talking to a lot of guys on Telegram, and they're talking to me all the time, asking me loads of questions, and that's really helping me because I'm being able to spell out the process a lot better. But it's taking time, man. It's really difficult, and so I'm just making these videos right now to give you as much value as I fucking can, whilst I'm in the process of spelling it out more. But I'm hoping that if you're watching it right, if you're still watching this video right now, you're getting a really good sense of where you are and where you kind of want to be, or where you believe that you could be. Like, you could be in this position, and God bless you if you are in that position. God bless you, seriously. If you're in this position, no wonder you desire porn greatly. When you have this view, this realistic view that's like actually the truth, you can move on and you can do other stuff with your life. You don't have to have this like porn life. You don't have to have this non-stop porn life. You can kind of look, broaden your horizons. What else is there that I can do in this world? Maybe I can fucking take more time and go to the gym more. Maybe I can pick up boxing. Maybe I can pick up dancing. Maybe I can get fucking singing lessons. Maybe I can do like, I can start going on runs. I can start like reading a lot more. I can start writing if I wanted to do that. Like, you can do anything you want in this fucking world. And I'm not saying that you need to do this stuff to replace porn. I'm saying that when you have a more realistic view of porn, your mind begins to open as to how you could actually be happier doing other stuff. Because porn takes up a lot of your time and energy. And then you might realize, oh, the non-porn life is actually a lot more richer, a lot more kind of complex, a lot more exciting, a lot more, great, a lot more awesome. And when you feel like you just don't need porn anymore, like the position that I'm in, dude, it's fucking awesome. And the key thing here with porn users that have been messaging me and the things that I've experienced are these two motherfuckers right here. This one right here, right? This you need to change view, right? You need to change that view. You need to really open your mind to this possibility. Another one, this one, right? This one here. Is it actually giving you euphoria, a pleasure greater than anything else known to man? Is it actually doing that? Right? Is it actually that? And then when you start to genuinely consider that it isn't that great, and in fact, and then the position that I'm in right now is I view it as a mild amusement. I really don't see much value in it. It doesn't hit the same as it used to. And you might think, oh, that's bullshit. Like, I want it to hit the same as it used to. Like, I want to have that massive pleasure. But it's like, you're not even really getting that pleasure. Like, it's not fucking that good. You think it's the most pleasurable thing known to man, but it doesn't really feel that way when you do it. It doesn't actually feel that way. It's so paradoxical in a way. But when you're free of it and you start to not watch porn and you start to really build your life up and you start to realize, oh, that's life. Like, that's what life is about. That's what I want to be doing. I want to actually be living a porn-free life in the moment. In the moment right now, I'd rather not watch porn than watch porn, because for me, porn is like this very mild amusement. It doesn't even do much. I don't even like it. Like, a lot of the porn material on there is like pretty disgusting to me and pretty like disrespectful to women. I know it sounds gay as fuck, but it's true. A lot of the like mainstream porn, it's super like racist and like fucked up. Like, there's like it's super like fetishy, and I really don't like it, And even just the act of watching other people have sex, like, other people want to have sex, that's great, but like, I don't need to be watching that, I want to be having sex with a real girl that I really like. I don't want to be watching other people do it, And it's super weird how my perspective has changed. It really is profound, and that's, as I said, that's why I'm making these videos. So, the moral of the story, right, if you're still watching this right now, these are the two things that you need to fucking question. If you do not question these things, you will fucking... If you have this unrealistic view, if you have this magic disco ball of porn, you're going to be there really wanting it. Imagine if I thought I needed this tea to be okay. Fuck me, this tea is going to be the best thing. I'm going to be highly motivated towards it. There are people in this world who believe they need to be jacked and strong to be happy. Those people are highly motivated towards the gym. They're called gym rats. They're in there all day, right? Okay, not all day, but they're in there fucking every day, right? There are people who, and it could be with anything. You see how porn and drugs aren't unique? There are people who believe they need loads of money to be happy, and those people are money demons, and they will scam you. People like Hamza, people like Andrew Tate, cunts who think that money is what's going to make them the best man, and they're just fucking deluded, right? There are people who believe, guys like me. I believe that I need to help other people, and I need to make the world a better place before I die. That's my perspective. That's my worldview. Hence, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm motivated to helping other guys online because I'm motivated by wanting to genuinely help people, right? You might be motivated to get good grades in school. It's all the same thing. It's all motivation based on beliefs. It's not about dopamine. It's not about like, oh, porn has this objective massive pleasure. That my friend is a belief. That, my friend, is a belief right there. Right there. Yeah? And this is the fucked up thing. I say this in every vid, but it's hard to question your own beliefs. Why? Because you believe them to be true. It's hard to consider that something you believe to be true is false. That isn't super easy. But believe me, once you open your mind to the alternate possibilities, and you think and you question and you come to various conclusions, gradually you'll open your mind more, and then eventually you'll be in the same position that I'm in, where you have a fucking realistic view of what porn can and cannot do. You look back and you think to yourself, this shit is bollocks. It never did any of that. I can't believe I was falling for that bullshit over and over again, and I'm fucking happy to be out of it. At least I'm out of it while I'm somewhat young. At least I'm not 50 still in this bullshit and pissed away my whole life. You know? This book is the freedom model. I'm pretty sure you know this. If you're watching right now, you're pretty goated and you're pretty serious about conquering this issue. So really read the book. It's really, really good. And get to this level, dude. Get to that, right? And get to that. And really question all of that. And really question all of that. And as you open, and as I said, as you open your own mind more and more, and you start to realize that this is actually true, your feelings will change, and it just creates a snowball effect, and you build a new preference. You know, the snowball effect is like when you found NoFap and you started to watch porn a lot more, and it created that like exponential snowball effect towards porn use, heavier and heavier porn use. The same thing can happen here with heavier and heavier abstinence, if that makes sense. Like you realize more and more that porn isn't doing what you think it is, and you might go back to porn, like I did this months ago. Like you go back to porn just to see, and you're like, oh wait, it is bollocks, and it just reconfirms the new beliefs to you, and it's beautiful, and this changing of your mind is utterly, utterly beautiful. Truly, this is what can really set you fucking free. Get rid of that shit, or rather, sorry, this shit. Get rid of that shit. Get into this realistic view, man. Get rid of that magical view. Get into the realistic view. Get into here, and trust me, when you get there, you'll be commenting on this video, and you'll be like, "Thank you so much," and you'll be messaging me, "Thank you so much." And that's not me being an egotistical asshole. It's me telling you, like, genuinely, this shit is gonna fucking help you. And when it does help you, man, like I'm grateful as fuck to the Freedom Model dudes for showing me all this shit. Super grateful. And be grateful for them too. Go show them some love. Go send them an email or whatever once you're done with this stuff, you know. Message them, don't message me. They're the real goats here. Right? I'm just a messenger. Right? I'm just don't shoot the messenger. Do you know what I mean? Go and give them some love, right? Here we are. Go read the book. Link in the description. I hope this video's been really, really fucking helpful. Like and sub if you want to fucking see more of this shit, you know. Show me what I'm doing is good, and then I'll be more motivated. If you let me know that this is helpful, and let me know if it's not helpful. If you think this is not helpful, fucking comment. If you think it's helpful, fucking comment. Give me some feedback so I can give you what you want, right? I'm here to serve, right?